So welcome back everybody. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on another part of our toy train project. If you haven't seen the rest of them, check out the playlist or the cards that are on the end of the video and you can start catching up. If not, let's get to it. So what you're seeing right here is going to be what's called the cow catcher. It goes on the front of older trains. And what you're going to do is it's going to stop cows from being basically smashed. It's going to scoop them up and move them out of the way. And it's not that hard of a piece. It's kind of really simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to create our new part assembly right here. And let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to make a new sketch on the top. I'm going to click on my view cube up here so I can see the top plane. I'm using the front and the right as my X and Y axis. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the line tool, okay, and we're going to make two lines. One going across here, and we're going to make this 22.86 millimeters, like that. And then we're going to make a second line going vertical, right here. And we're going to make this 6.35 millimeters, just like that. All right. Now, I'm going to exit out of my line tool by just hitting L or coming up here. And then we're going to make another line. Take the line tool here. We're going to take the construction option. And we're going to make a vertical line at 25.4 millimeters, just like that. Now I'm going to take the construction line off and I'm going to connect these two lines right here, and that completes that. Now it's really important that we make sure that this is all black. If you have one blue line here, that means your constraints aren't right and you didn't really put it together correctly. Just delete it and start again. Really simple. Now we're going to only get half. So we're going to create the other half, and it's important that we keep this as a construction line. So I'm going to come up to the mirror tool, which is right here. And on the mirror tool, I'm going to click on my mirror line, and then I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. Now what I did is, instead of clicking on each one, I just pressed down on my mouse, and I just dragged it so all the lines got highlighted, and it created it in one shot. So that's one way to do it. All right. So now we have that completed. So we have the first part of this done. So now we are going to go ahead and we're going to create a plane offset. Take my plane tool on my top plane, okay? And we're going to offset this to 19.05 millimeters, just like that. And at 19.05, there you go. I'm going to go ahead and just finish that. And now we have plane one. So now on plane one, we're going to create a brand new sketch on plane one. So that should be our active plane. I'll just go ahead and toggle off the top plane so that we only have that. Now we're going to do the same thing we'd hit here, except we're going to do it with slightly different measurements. Okay. So now, again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this for it here. And I'm going to just create my line. I'm going to come down here, just like this, to the center point, origin. And I'm going to make this at 19.05 millimeters, like that. I'm going to remove my construction line. And I'm going to make a horizontal line that's going to be 15.24 millimeters, and then a vertical line at 6.35 millimeters. And then I'm just going to connect these two together like so, and that takes care of that. Now I'll deselect my line tool, and then I'll take the mirror again, and I'll take my center mirror line, I'll just click out here, drag it, and see if it grabbed it. Now it only grabbed one, that happens sometimes, but we're still in the mirror tool. So you just click on here and here, and there you go. So sometimes the mirror tool doesn't always work. So now that we have those two, I'm going to finish our sketch. And now you should have this here. So I'm going to come up here to my Loft tool, which is this shape right here, this one right here, Loft. And I'm just going to click on both shapes. Now, if you did not make this a mirror line, it's going to create 4 separate shapes that it's going to try to pick. Because you have the construction line in there, then it doesn't register it and it creates a one solid shape. So I'm going to click on here and here. So you should have only face sketch 1, face sketch 2, and just leave everything the way it is. And now you have this shape. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to spin this around to the bottom. And in here, I'm going to come up here to our shell tool. This is the rib, and this is the shell right here. Again, if you can't see it, I'm going to show you. You can come up to the search bar, and you'll see it highlights it in yellow, and I can just click on it here. I'm going to click on the bottom of here, and we want to shell this to 2. Now it's already close, but 2.54 millimeters. I know it doesn't really matter, but I prefer it. So now we have the shape. Now the shape is coming along. Now, one thing that's going to happen, if you had the blue lines in sketch 1 or sketch 2, you're going to have a tough time creating this because this is going to be almost invisible to you. And the system is going to be like, you can't do this because this is not a solid object. You got to make sure those construction lines and those lines that we created for our sketch are all black. So that makes it a solid shape. So I'm going to take a sketch and see how it creates this sketch right here on this plane. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take the offset tool, which is right here, this shape right here. And I'm just going to click on this shape right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an offset. Then I'm going to take this arrow, just click it on the inside, right? And zoom in a little more so you can see this. We're going to put this at a 2.591 millimeters, like that. And we're going to finish that sketch. Then I'm going to come in here to the extrude command. I'm going to take that. We're going to hit the remove option. Okay. But we're going to set this to 1.27 millimeters. And there gives us our first design. Now we're just going to repeat the same thing. Now if I come in here and click here, create a new sketch, there you go. And we come in here and I click on the offset, click on here, click on here. Again, click one more time, and then we're going to come in here and type in the measurement 2.591. There you go. And extrude this right there. Remove. Set it to 1.27 millimeters. And there you go. So we have this part done. Now we just have to finish this up and we are pretty much done. So we're going to move to the back, and this is going to be another simple little thing we can do. What we're going to do is really simple. Is we're going to make 3 holes, well 3 pegs here in the back. And I'm going to take my sketch tool and I'm going to put a sketch here. Now I'm going to take my circle and I'm going to put one right here, just here in this corner, like that. And we're going to make this the diameter of 3.175, right? And then I'm going to dimension this. Take that D key on the keyboard or the dimension tool right here. And I'm going to dimension it from the bottom line here to 3.175, exactly like the same for it's there, and the dimension of the diameter. And then from the center, I'm going to go from the edge here, like this, right here, and I'm going to make this at 6.985 millimeters. Now I'm going to need one on the other side, but we're going to do this real simple. I'm going to take this off for a second, and I'm going to use my mirror tool. Again, we're using this axis right here. Turn it to my mirror line, come over here, click on that, bing, bang, boom, we're done with that. Now we're going to disconnect this, and we're going to put one last shape on here, one more circle. I'm going to put the circle right here on this axis because we need it to be dead set in the middle, like that. Now, same diameter, 3.175, like that. Okay. Now, there's another thing you could do where, let's make this smaller. Okay. I'm going to make this 2 millimeters, like that. Now, we can come up here, and we find this constraint up here called equal. So if I click on this, and click on this, it should try to make equal. Now, it depends on how you do it. So far, that's not right. So I'm going to come in here, click on here, click on here. Again, it won't do it. Now, the reason is because it's directly here on this center point constraint, but normally they would try to copy it and do it the same way. So I'm going to go back here to 3.175. Because of this constraint here on this center axis, it won't let you use the equal. But in some cases you can, and it sometimes will simplify if you're doing multiple objects. They all have to be the same size. So I'm going to finish dimensioning this from here to this center origin. Highlight it, just click on it, go over it. And we're going to do this at 15.875. Okay, just like that. And now this thing should also be dimensioned at 15.875, just like that. Okay, so we have those dimensions, and you don't really need these other dimensions, but you'll see that they're pretty much accurate to what you need. Now you'll notice that this thing is a little bit high. So if it does end up like this, then what you need to do is just get rid of that measurement. Okay. And then go ahead and redimension it from the top here. And you're going to dimension this to 3.175. That should drop it down to exactly where you need to be. Okay. So in case you're wondering what the full dimensions are, this is what the full dimensions are. That's the distance between these two here. And each one of these is exactly half the distance between each other. Right there. And because we used the mirror, that's done. So I'm going to come in here and finish this off. I'm going to go ahead and extrude all three of these little pegs out. And we're going to go ahead and just extrude them out to a blind of 3.175 millimeters, like that. And with that, we should be finished. There you go, guys. And so that finishes the cow catcher piece. I'm just going to go ahead and take these off here. And lastly, I'm going to rename this to cow catcher, which will make it easier later in our project for our next part. And I can't spell for the life of me. And close enough. All right, so that's it, guys. All right, make sure you keep trying, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.